Now, somebody said to me recently, Dwight, why haven't you done anything on class? I'm about to put that right, because it's a real oversight in this system of videos that I've actually produced for yourselves. Today we're going to look at class and how it actually needs the other to function. Let's get started. Hi, I'm Dr. Dwight Turner. As always, it's a pleasure to give these videos out to yourselves. Keep, please, subscribing to the channel. Keep following myself on Twitter and on Facebook as well. It's always a pleasure to talk to yourselves when you send me messages. Love it to bits. What we're going to do today is actually talk a little bit about class. It's one of those areas which is easily overlooked when we talk about discrimination and otherness. And one of the reasons why, I think, in my view, is, I'm living in England, and we're sort of embedded in a class system. And we're so embedded with it that it still seeps through our pores. We look to climb from the working classes to the middle classes. We talk about glass ceilings. There's always talk about moving upwards through the hierarchy of class, ultimately. Class systems, for example, here in the UK, have been around since time immemorial, it seems like. From the moment you have a monarchy and lords and serfs below them, you actually create a class system, a hierarchical system of difference and otherness, with actually the majority of people at the very bottom serving those who are up above them. This is no different to perhaps the times of colonialism, where actually colonizers worked very hard to recreate that sort of class system by actually having the colonizers at the top, running everything, whatever else, bringing in sort of migrants to actually play like a middle class role, see Kenya, Uganda, whatever else, and always having the locals as the working lower class other. It happens all the time. In the States, you have, even to this day, migrants coming in working for the privileged class. There it's less about upper and lower, it's more about a privileged class, in my view anyway. Class exists only with the other. It doesn't function without it. You can't have quality and inequality running together in this same sort of way without a class system. It's very important to recognize, therefore, that it can be easily missed. We spend a lot of time wading through it. I'm working class, for example. My parents, when they came across from the Caribbean, were aspiring to become more middle class. One of the saddest things about their lives is, actually, that was never a goal. There was never an opportunity to actually move upwards. It's held out like a carrot, that chance to move and become a better class of citizen in a place like the UK. Class, therefore, is insidious. It's there all the time. You can't avoid it. And it's one of these things that actually we need to be very aware of when we talk about discrimination. For example, if I talk to you about, let's say, the Equalities Act 2010, one of the things that isn't a protected characteristic is actually class. As I understand it, you can still discriminate around class because there's no idea of working out, okay, what does it actually mean? What forms does it actually take? So therefore, this actually shows how difficult it is to challenge or even to talk about something like class difference and class otherness, and how it is to be the other when you're working class or even just maybe lower middle class. It happens all the time. I'm going to leave this one there, I think, this time. It gives you something to think about when it comes to class distinctions and what those actually might mean and how they might impact on yourselves in some way. If you have any comments, please leave them below or send me a tweet or an email. I'm on Twitter and on Facebook. As always, it's a pleasure to produce these messages for yourselves. Please subscribe. Please send these videos out to your friends. It's always a pleasure to hear from you all. This is Dr. Dwight Turner. Take good care. Bye-bye.